swings it away. High ball forward. Petrarca's one out. Everyone forgot about the footy except for the first gamer. Lockhart takes Clark on. What about this for a start? Oh, yes. Well done, young man.
Inside Melbourne, episode 3. Clint Stanaway with you. Jack Viney, co-host. G'day, Jack.
Hey, Clint. How are you?
Going all right, thank you.
Good.
We've got a special guest with us.
Very special guest.
Do you want to introduce him?
Yes, this is my co-captain, Nathan, partner in crime.
Thanks, man.
Welcome to the podcast.
I was just wondering, firstly, can we start with your opener? I've heard the opener of the first show.
Yeah.
It's your boy, Jack Viney, and then he completely forgot who runs it and what's it called.
What's the name of it? It is, I do know now, episode 3, Inside Melbourne.
Yeah, boy.
With thanks to
Zurich.
Very good.
Smashed my phone. But yeah, I haven't been allowed the reins since that episode. So maybe in a couple of weeks when Clint's feeling...
Take the training wheels off.
Yeah, take the training wheels off. I'll maybe have another stab at it. But
you're going well, bro.
just learning the ropes at the moment.
Going well.
Hey, Jack, you got any intel on where Lily Mithen is?
Well, I do. I have some intel, and I'm not sure how to feel about it because she was late last week. Substantially late, and we're already questioning her dedication to the cause, and now we find out she's not here today because she's in Noosa. Noosa.
That's distressing.
Working on the suntan, so yeah, I'm really, really not sure what to think about it.
You're flat, aren't you?
I'm pretty flat. You got to commit to something, you do it properly. I'm all about it, and I think she's having a bit of a laugh at the moment.
Oh, whack. He's going hard there.
He's already said that there should be fines introduced for such behaviour. So,
absolutely.
Lil, you're on notice. It's good that we've got the two co-captains in the studio today because we have to address a few issues from the weekend, and we're going to straighten up right here, right now, because obviously it's been a disappointing start to the season. Jones, I'm going to start with you as our guest. To you first and foremost, take us back to Saturday night and immediately after the game, the feeling in the rooms.
Oh, immediately after the game, it's extreme disappointment, frustration, and probably sort of wondering where we're at. But I think Goody was quick to sort of put some perspective around that, which at the time it's sort of hard to fathom, and it even sort of still sounds weird to talk in an element of positive light from the game, but. Coming in yesterday and seeing the review and some of the footage and the numbers, our game has taken a bit of a turn, and it actually is on the right track. As far as that may seem away for some people, the game is so it's very much defined by small margins, and on the weekend, in particular, Geelong takes pretty much every opportunity they created turned into a goal versus, we created a lot of opportunities for, very little reward. And we're very clear on the path forward to, sort of rectify that. But, it's sort of just about, at the moment, grinding away and sort of hanging in there. But I don't think you could question the effort or intent, which... I think it's a real anomaly. I don't know if you look back at statistics, whether or not, with what we sort of served up from our point of view, has there ever been a margin like that? But, we'll continue to work forward, and I think, we aren't too far away from turning that corner.
I'm sure that nobody's questioning effort or intent, but I guess one of the main question people have is how can the best defensive team of 2018 be so ineffective converting inside 50s, Jack? Is that something that you look at now?
Obviously to get so many inside 50s and not convert and make the most of it, there's breakdowns. It's not working the way it should be. So, there was a lot of our education yesterday about the opportunities we're leaving out there. Just off what Jonesy said, there are elements to our game that came back, which is positive in a sense, but still the opportunities we left out on the track were huge, and that's probably you get that combination of the scoreboard and us not scoring at all, really.
Was there an inability to adjust the way we delivered the footy inside 50, Jonesy?
It's easy to say that from afar, but when you're in the moment with the The role that Geelong's on,
because they were on a roll. They were playing
absolutely
good footy.
it's
And they're one of the best defensives. Like the way they set up behind the ball,
absolutely
inside their D50, like they're one of the better teams at doing that. And
that's sort of why we can take positive light in some of the opportunities we did create. I think when we say we're missing, it's like what I mean by small margins is, a guy may snap a ball around the corner when all he has to do is just cut off his line and maybe give one more handball, and it's almost a certain goal. They're the little things I'm talking about. Running inside 50, just lower your eyes a little bit, but in the moment, that just comes down to guys sort of remaining calm and keeping their head. And I think the funny thing is, we're completely capable of it. The team hasn't changed very much from the team that won 9 in a row last year and took us to a prelim, but it's finding that spark where we're in sync, we're in form, each line, midfield, back line, forward line works together. The game, I think it's undervalued in terms of how much, particularly outside the footy club, people value teamwork and the team working as a system. It isn't any one player that's going to pull us out of this. It's actually the group sort of finding its groove and working together. And at the moment, we're just a bit clunky. But as Jack and I both said, we're actually not too far away. And it's like 1 or 2%, and it completely changes.
How do you handle that pressure? I mean, you two as leaders, as captains of the footy club, what role do you play right here, right now?
Oh, I think first and foremost, you just got to own your performance. Understand where you are. That's the quickest way to improving. And we're in that position where we feel like we've done that. Particularly yesterday, we had our match review. The coach just sat us down, showed us what's what, and now it's about getting on with it. We're not shying away from what we need to do. We can see elements of the game coming back, and that's almost encouraging and motivating for us to keep going. Coming up, big night, Friday night game, both teams 0-2, both teams hungry to get their season off to a win. So yeah, it's going to be a big game, and we're not lacking any kind of motivation to find form. We're ready to jump into it.
The easy thing at the moment would be to succumb to the criticism and the noise. I think the role for particularly Jack and I and the boys in the leadership group, guys that have been in this position and in a more senior role with experience, is to sort of remain calm. There's got to be an element of urgency. We're still got areas we've got to get better at, and we've got to do it quickly because the season can drift away fast, and there's no doubt that's going on inside, as Jack mentioned then. But there's also an element of remaining calm and making sure guys are consistently trying to address the behaviours that we want to see as a team, performing and preparing and training to the level that we expect, because that's the only way out really. If we go the other way, I've been there and seen what can happen.
You get further away from
what you want. Yeah. So, yesterday was just about making sure guys are aligned. Yes, there was some good stuff, but we've still got work to do. We've got little things that we can tinker here and there that, yes, they're going to change what the game looks like and we'll get a result from it. But you've got to stay the course. You've got to be courageous enough to just keep fronting up and having a crack, no matter what opinion or criticism flies our way. You just block that noise out, and whatever happens in here, we know what we're doing. We know how we're going to get out of it.
News through from the medical room is that Stephen May, who sat in this chair this time last week and told us how excited he was to make his debut, and congratulations to him on pulling on the red and blue for the first time, but he will miss this week. That must be disappointing for both of you.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was gutted when he'd sort of left the game, and you could see that there was something wrong. And speaking to him yesterday, it's sort of around his groin kind of area. So he'd definitely miss this week, and I don't know how much longer after that. But it'd be frustrating for him because he had such a great prep leading up to maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, and then he had some slight hammy, a bit of an adductor trouble, and then he got reported, and he's had a bit of an interrupted sort of 5 or 6 weeks from then on. But prior to that, he's been terrific. a terrific addition to the club, and I was really looking forward to hopefully having him with some sort of continuity with his game to sort of find his feet with how we play. But it's not all doom and gloom. I think he'll get himself right, and we'll allow him enough time to get himself right, and he'll be a very important part of the team.
When you look inside 50, Petrarca's been playing a lot inside 50, and just give us an insight into his mindset now, because he too is someone who's been put under the microscope in the wake of the Geelong loss and indeed the Port loss as well. Jack?
Petrarca is, from what I've observed and what I've noticed, he's had a terrific pre-season. Like we're talking about the 1-2% off, that's where I see him at. Like he's put in a chunk of work pre-season, and he was one of our best trainers pre-season. He was one of our stronger performers in the JLT from the internal stuff we value. Hasn't come together for him game day during the season just yet, but I'm much slower to jump on. Thinking that he's out of form or anything like that. I'd actually see it the other way, and it's just about he's not alone. He's not in that boat alone. It's just remaining confident for him, and he understands that his weeks are looking very good, behaviours are looking very good, and it's just putting it together game day now, which he's confident he'll be able to do.
I think the criticism of him is unwarranted, to be honest. It's
I think because people compare, don't they?
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem, though. Like the expectation on, a fifth-year player. It's always been like, this is the noise outside the club. This is not the perspective inside the club. But you hear, he should be tearing games apart and he should be doing this and doing that. Like Jack said, he's actually ticking some of the boxes that we want to see. Sure, he's got to get better in some aspects, and he'd be disappointed with some of the errors he made on the weekend. But he's actually, again, one of those guys that's not that far away. And as I was saying before, I think what is undervalued in the outside world with opinion and perspective is the value in team and team system, which then makes these players. Like, track will play far better when our team isn't clunky and struggling and inefficient inside 50, because we'll give him more opportunities.
Where do you see him playing his best footy?
I think he's a real bull around the ball. I think he can be really damaging, particularly with how the centre bounce is played these days. Obviously, with the 666, there's more space, more open. He's powerful, and got great speed and wins one-on-one. So I think he can be damaging centre bounce. But then, I think for me, his matchup's very difficult forward, and as a high forward that sort of then drifts in behind and can play deep as well. But I think he's capable of playing anywhere. But I think we just need to pull the rein a little bit on what we expect from him, because I think at times it's beyond, it's in a whole another realm of, and it can really affect the psyche. A lot of the time it's about bringing guys back to no, just worry about what's going on in here, because you hear all this noise, and it's sometimes it's hard not to get drawn out there, but we just keep reminding him that he's not too far away, and he's just got to keep doing what we value, and he'll be a bloody good player for us. What
about you and your footy, Jonesy? You're going to play in a few different positions, no doubt, this year. How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I've spent the first couple of weeks on the wing and had a couple of or a little bit of time inside, but I sort of just will play where we need. Probably majority of the time I'll be spent playing on the wing, which, again, that's depending on how we play and stuff. It's you get different opportunities each week, but I think it's from that position, it's allowed me to develop different skills in terms of being able to direct and sort of rally the troops from seeing the stoppages mainly from a different perspective. But I'll sort of play all over the shop, but depending on what goes on each week.
666, Jack. How was that at the weekend? There was a couple of issues.
Right, I don't know. Yeah, there was one instance where I've gone off to go to the bench, and we didn't have a rotation, so I've had to come back on the field, and I'm running into the forward line to make the 666, and the ump goes to me, "You need to hold." I'm like, what are you talking about? But he told me to hold, so I'm like, okay, I stood there. And then they called the free kick against me for not evening the numbers.
Mate.
And I was like, why
There's got to be some common sense
He
there.
told me to stay. I think he must have thought I was a winger, and I've gone to make it 7 in the back line or the forward line or something. So, but I'm not copping that one.
Yeah, no, I wasn't happy with that one either.
So the way it works, if I'm right, so is there a warning first?
Yeah.
In the first case, and then after that, that's when they ping you.
Yep.
But as you said, Jonesy, perhaps common sense.
Well, I think in
needs to
that
prevail a little bit.
instance, there's no doubt. Like Vines is sort of caught in between the bench and making his way to the position. He's not really impacting the play, and I don't think the game needs to be over officiated in that sense. Clearly, he's working his way down towards the forward 50 to even the numbers up, but he's not bloody Usain Bolt, and he's not going to sprint down there just to
He
get
thinks
it done.
he is.
Yeah, well,
Pretty close.
he is, but you know where I'm coming
Not when I
from.
ran 13k, I can't read. It's slower then.
Boys, before we get to the fans' questions from the outer, with thanks to Zurich, let's have a look towards Friday night, because it will be a big occasion in that both teams need to win, us especially. Well, not us especially, because we both need to win, don't we? But
Us especially.
yeah, us
Yeah,
especially, of
podcast.
course. We need a big crowd there, Jack.
Yeah. I same message. I was kind of, the playing group aren't shying away from where we're at, and I don't think the supporter base and the fans and that they should either. Let's band together, and the more people we get to the game, the better we're going to play. You know, like all that inspires us and fuels us and puts fear in the opposition. So it's a massive advantage. Like that Geelong final last year, when you could just sense it was a Melbourne. The MCG was just Melbourne, and the you know what, the energy that gave us. I think it's got, you know, something like that would be special and definitely help us.
How important, Nate, will it be to play a measured brand of footy? Like, not to be too overwhelmed by the fact that we have to win this game of footy.
Yeah,
To sort of keep your head.
Absolutely. That's what I said there before, the importance of leadership. So in mine and Jack's case, in Goody in the coach's case, and our senior players, it's about keeping guys calm and understanding sort of where we're at, what we've got to do, stick to the process. And as boring as that may seem, which at times people think that is, but that's the only way out, really, because if you go beyond that, as Jack said earlier, you end up taking yourself further away from what you want. So, you know, our focus initially today will be to address some of the things that bobbed up out of our review. And I think there will be an element of excitement because, you know, even though we got beaten on the weekend, I think guys left the club yesterday a lot more optimistic than when they rocked up. And I think that's due to, you know, great coaching and great messaging from Goody and the coaches to leave the boys with some real hope that, you know, it actually isn't too far away. And, you know, I think that excited me. I left the club thinking, geez, I can't wait to play again. And I'm grateful it's a 6-day break because, you know, the sooner the better to get back out there and have another crack and face that challenge head on, as Vine said, and you know, sort of turn that wheel and get us back going again. And it'll be important that, you know, our supporter base sticks with us and gets behind us. I understand there'd be an element of frustration, but, you know, we're doing absolutely everything we can to make sure that, you know, we sort of arm wrestle back our form in the positive and get back playing that brand of footy that they can, you know, really resonate with.
One more before we break. Stephen May won't play. Anyone that you can see pushing for selection? Who's there waiting to put their hand up or putting their hand up already?
There's a few boys. I know Billy Stretch has been banging down the door and played really well on the weekend. And there's obviously a couple of boys that have sort of been in and out as well. But yeah, it's...
Apparently Corey Wagner played very well.
Yeah.
After, you know, responded from missing out this week. Apparently we didn't get to see it because the VFL was on the same day as where he played, but from all reports he responded really well.
There'll be a few boys. And I think that, but there's also an element, which this is the balancing act of coaching, is, you know, sort of keeping the faith with a lot of the guys that are in there. And as I said before, the team's not too different to what the team was last year, and it'll come. That we understand guys are sort of a little bit off their best, but if we back them in, I think that'll turn quickly.
In a few years' time, when you hang out the boots, do you feel like coaching?
Don't know. I've probably come around a little
job.
I've come around a little bit. I used to be 100% dead set against it, but I don't know. It's we've done a little bit of stuff this year with a few different courses around sort of leadership and I guess a bit of that self-discovery stuff, and I probably sort of started to open my mind to it a little bit more, but I don't know.
You're a decent media performer though, Jonesy, so
I don't know.
You enjoy the wobble?
Who knows? We'll wait and see,
take
mate.
over Clint's
if I can take over his job, strut around and get paid the big bucks.
All right, well, thanks, Zurich. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with your questions from the outer. Thanks to our co-major partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich. For over 100 years, they've been ensuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and truly love Melbourne. Welcome back to Inside Melbourne, episode 3 with thanks to Zurich. The game on Friday night against the Bombers is a special one because it's a round for each. Jonesy, what does that mean?
Obviously celebrating the partnership that we have with Reach, an unreal organisation that does terrific work in the space of youth around Australia, and they've done some amazing work with our playing group as well. I think this week's sort of even more special with, I guess, what they're sort of they're pushing or promoting around social media and bullying, and I guess addressing that, bringing that to light. So the players have got in behind it, and I know Jack and my partner and Maxie's partner are involved in a little thing as well, and hopefully we can raise plenty of money out of the game, which contributes towards what they're doing in the community. Jack, any burning questions for your co-captain?
We've been fairly. We've been all business so far on the podcast. I'm just going to lighten up a little. I know you're a big family man, Jonesy. Any opportunity to leave the club early to get home to the fam, you take it. So how is family life?
Yeah, it's good, man. The kids are a full-blown handful at the moment. Remy's a wrecking ball, and Bobby's slowly building the attitude of a little teen, and she's only 4 years old. But no, it's good fun, mate. It's they're terrific value, and Jerry and I have great fun, and maybe some planning in the works for a third one. You never know, but I don't know. We are.
It's an Inside Melbourne exclusive.
No, not quite yet, but maybe a little bit of practice every now and then. But
sure, that's brings some happiness to the fans out there. And there's the third Jones coming.
Not yet.
You're all a bit sick at the moment, aren't you?
Don't jump to conclusions. Not yet.
You slept in the spare bed last night?
Yeah, I was spare bed last night. They've been riddled with a bit of the flu and coughing and sneezing and the like, but I think the change in season last week, or in the last couple of weeks, has caught them. But I'm doing everything I can to sort of duck and weave it. And last night Bobby was in about midnight coughing away, and I just picked up the pillow and the phone charger and phone, and off I went down to the back room and got at least 6 or 7 hours uninterrupted. So all good, man.
Very good. Let's open it up to questions from the outer with thanks to Zurich. My favourite, it's going to be to both of you. It's from Luke. He says or asks, what do you say to rumours that Clayton Oliver's barber is blind?
Well, this might hurt, but Christian Salem is actually his barber. So I'd suggest that Salo isn't blind, because he's actually started the year very well. But I actually asked Clary the other day, and he was serious. He said he went around to Salo's house, and yeah, he's done all the handiwork there.
So is it an instruction issue, like Clary's instructions, or is it a haircut issue, do you think?
Well, that's his one wood, isn't it? Salo runs the sort of
really short.
Yeah, that's his only thing. There's not really much fade there. He just sort of goes hard with the zero and leaves whatever sort of feathers are left on top, which in my case is none.
But I think Clayton's the kind of guy that the more crap he gets for the haircut, the longer it'll stay there.
Absolutely.
Just to shove it up.
Absolutely. I don't mind.
If you want it gone, let's just not touch on it.
And it'll be gone.
But the more we point it out, it's there for good.
Yeah, I don't think I can rock one of them.
Well,
I haven't got much to work with anyway.
I don't think so either, really.
says you. Jack, anything tickle your fancy from the out of this week?
A lot of it's footy, and I don't really want to talk footy, but I see a good one here. How's the new house going? So the last couple of years, you did a big reno of your place. I know you were around here trying to juggle it a lot. You did it yourself. So how's that going? And how was that whole process?
Well, we're settled now. I've started to work on Jerry about selling it, but
what did you think?
I don't know. That's been a 6-month discussion.
Because it was like what, a couple of years?
Yeah, we moved in maybe close to 12 months ago, and prior to that, it probably took somewhere between 12 and 18 months to do. But it was cool. Like, I have an interest in that space, and potentially want to get involved in sort of developments and building residential houses when I'm finished. But who knows where that'll take me. But it was a great experience to do my own, and I'm keen to do another one. Whether or not, probably just to make the move to get into maybe a bigger block of land with the kids and stuff. But whether or not I do the build while I'm playing still is probably another thing, because it was quite stressful and time consuming. But no, we're loving it, mate. It's good fun, and we're very lucky what we've been able to build, and we've already created some great memories there as a family, and hopefully many more.
It's a question. It's a statement question from Melbourne. I love you. It is a footy question, but still. Nathan, I was walking around Petra in Jordan, listening to the game on last Saturday night, trying not to swear as I peered up at amazingness around me. I've cut my trip short by 2 days to get back for the Essendon match on Friday night. So that's not bad from Melbourne. I love you.
That's
absolutely.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
that's what we want to see.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, that's cool to hear.
What else have we got here, Jack? Anything else that you see that you... Hey, Jonesy, big question here, mate. How do you like your eggs, and what's your secret to a good work-life balance with a young family?
How do I like my
snaps.
eggs? Poached, definitely. I don't eat eggs very often, to be honest, but definitely poached, and probably on the softer side. Mm-hmm. And work-life balance, I think it's more just about quality time, to be honest. Just when I do get a chance, just spending, time where I'm as present as I can be with the kids, and, having experiences and doing fun things that create memories and enjoyment for them.
Why Hume asks, how do you think Jay Lockhart went?
I actually think he went really well. Yeah, it's easy to sort of look at statistics and maybe rate his game on how often he touched the ball, but I think from my perspective, I loved his intent, his intensity, his speed to get over. He laid some big hits a few times. Put his body on the line a couple of times. I think he's got super potential. I'm excited about where he could possibly get to. I think he's quite versatile. He sort of started as a forward pocket, ended up down back for us as well on the weekend, but again, he's another player that I think will really flourish as the side starts to hit its straps.
And he's had a whirlwin couple of weeks.
Hasn't he just?
Oh, it's amazing, man.
I tried to have a chat with him. His head must still be spinning.
He's working on shipping containers or something like that? Or?
Yeah. And then we were just sitting down for training out at Casey like 2 weeks ago, and Goody's like, well, we got a new player on the list. Welcome, Jay Lockhart. Shit. And then
15 days later, yeah.
A week later, he's played his first, not his first VFL game, because he's obviously been at Casey, but as a Melbourne listed player, he's played, and then learning the game plan and structures, even though it doesn't differ too much, it's still a completely different environment. Then going into playing AFL football, his head must just be going bananas. But I think he's had a great start. He'll only continue to find his feet, get more comfortable, and looking forward to him being part of the roster.
Got time for a few more.
I got one. I don't know how to pronounce that name though, but I'll go with a question. This person said they found Simon Goodwin's video, messaging to the fan base very motivating, which was a great piece that was put up on all our social media channels. But the question is, does the team or do you personally watch anything motivational to fire you up for games? or trainings? Anything that gets you going?
Yeah, a little bit. I used to watch heaps of fighting stuff because I feel like particularly the UFC do that motivational stuff really well, and I love, similar to you, watching sort of a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and how hard people work and that kind of thing. But not too much. Like I might, if something like that bombs up, for sure. But
what about Jack Viney carving him up against Hawthorn? And
I was just about to say something along those lines. His 100th game video that we saw prior to the game was one of the best highlights packages I've seen in 100 games. So that got me quite...
I didn't touch the footy. It was all tackling.
Yeah, and some absolute crackers in there. But yeah, I guess what the club does really well is... we've got some amazing guys in that space of, video and content creation. And, most weeks we put together something that's pretty inspiring. And Goody does a terrific job of sort of theming up the week in our post-game, our pre-game meeting, the day before the game, that, there's a lot of motivation just coming out of that.
A shout out to the guys at Melbourne Media. The two guys sitting here today are nodding their heads in approval.
They do a terrific job. Yeah, when I said that,
well done.
They're like this.
We're enjoying our work. Jones, before we finish up, you got any questions for your co-captain? Anything, any intel for our Inside Melbourne listeners? The goings on through the pre-season?
Goings on through the pre-season? Not really. I just want to know, he's a very dedicated man to his beautiful wife now, Charlotte. So, and I know that he's craving a family at some point. So surely there's got to be something in the works. He's got a bit red there.
Well, maybe a bit later, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're starting discussions.
Discussions.
There's things we've got to work.
A round table type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to consult with the dog first, don't you?
Yeah, and that was the other thing. So you've already got Seb.
Is
there another one coming, or?
If we had a bigger house, we would definitely get a bigger one, but double the hair, double the food. They're not easy dogs to maintain.
Hell no.
So I think we're happy with one just for now.
He's a great man. He shouted us coffee this morning.
About time, man. Mate, I've known him for 7 or 8 years. That's the first coffee he's ever bought me, I reckon.
No, he just...
Tightest bloke at the club, hands down.
No, there's two before me.
Yeah, actually.
I'm up there, but not the worst.
Well, boys, it's been a pleasure. Jack, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. And Jonesy, best of luck on Friday night against the Dons. That was episode 3 of Inside Melbourne with thanks to Zurich. We'll catch you next week.